I started the recording now, just so.
No, it doesn't work.
What?
It still doesn't work. It doesn't
Yours?
work. It needs to be up here. No, I'm just talking to Artie, don't worry. I'll do. I'll hold it.
Just get her to hold it, bro.
Yeah. I need like a stick that just is there.
You should have got a. What? Didn't you have a selfie stick at home?
Yeah, I threw it out.
Didn't bring it.
Yeah. I should have now that I think about it because it would have been amazing.
Well, yeah, you are using your phone for all of the podcasts, so you probably should have. Hello, Jolene?
Jolene.
Hello? I hope we don't
3
have the
participants.
same. I hope we don't have the same audio problems as before. Because that will honestly be so annoying.
Yeah, like hot topics.
Yeah, it seems to be having the same issue. Oh, I wonder what it is, bro.
Hello.
Hello. Why does your camera disappear now?
I don't know what's going on.
Neither. Oh, wait, your camera just turned off?
One second. I don't understand what's going on.
What is going on? Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, hello. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Can I just check? Are you hearing me out of this mic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. No, not that one.
Oh, what?
Okay.
She was tapping it. It's not that one.
Oh, yeah, true. I did fucking blind as shit with my glasses.
Can't see your screen.
I
Is
can.
that better?
They sound the same.
Yeah, it sounds about the same, yeah.
Okay. Are you picking up any like street traffic or anything?
No, it's quiet.
Like the audio is clear?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Sweet.
I'm
Also,
using my
I won't
phone,
be able
so
to
you don't
see
have
you
to look at
guys.
that.
So,
Oh, that's fine. You don't
Yeah.
have to look at us anyways. We're not that important.
oh,
We'll be able to see our
Well,
cool
thank you for
reactions to
having
things.
me.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. We're glad to have you. Thanks for coming
Welcome.
on. Welcome.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
it's probably better off that you don't see us because Jack right now is in bed and his background is space. So
Oh, I noticed.
unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
Well, I'm sick, so I need all the help
okay.
I can get at the moment.
Oh, powering through
stuff.
it. How's London?
It's great. The reason I'm sick is because I bought a scooter and I may or may not have scooted home in the rain on Friday for an hour and a half. So that's probably why I'm sick.
Fun. Can
yeah,
I
for the
vape
sakes.
on the pod? Or no?
Yeah,
Sorry?
go for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Do whatever
go
you
ahead.
want.
Yeah. Oh my god, when I was addicted to the vapes, that's all I did in the podcast. People were just getting pissed off just hearing.
Yeah.
That's just his breathing as well.
Yeah, that's also I used to be a mouth breather till like a year ago. No, less now. I didn't realize I was breathing wrong my whole life.
I can only breathe through one nostril, so I get that.
Same. That's why I did it my whole life. Yeah. Jeez. So it's not just me that breathes through one nostril.
No.
Okay.
This is just a disabled podcast now.
Yeah, literally. Now that I'm here.
Oh my god. Okay, well, just so you know, we already started recording, just to not spring it up on you. Well, we'd like to welcome you. First of all,
so stop all the racist shit. First of all.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's stop.
All those things you just said.
We'll leave the white power conversations for after recordings.
Oh, perfect.
We'd like to welcome Jolene Dawson, someone that's
Thank you for having me.
Someone that's a social influencer, a musician, and recently I realized tarot card reader.
Yeah, sometimes a tarot card reader.
we are going. I am going to at the end of the podcast. I am going to ask you if that's okay with you, if you're still up for it, to read That's all right for us. If
Oh,
that's
you should
possible, I
have
don't know how
told
it
me
works.
beforehand. I
don't
don't
have
have any
them?
cards with me. No.
You know what? Does it work virtually? Because I have some cards.
It does work. I can do that. I'm happy to
You
do
actual?
that.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
that would work. Yeah.
Wait, hold up.
Oh,
Does it matter?
that's
Like,
cool.
look, see, so I've got some right here. They're not
Oh,
nothing
they're
special.
cool.
They're nothing special. But yeah, if it works, we can do it that way.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Anyways, so I just wanted to ask a few. So I've got a few questions, and then we can kind of just go on about the podcast the way it is, just talk about random shit as we do. The first question that I have is, how did you find out about us, and what kind of got you intrigued to want to be on our podcast at first? Because that's
I want to know the first impression.
yeah.
You guys were just like coming up on
always
my
interesting.
like TikTok so much. And
Okay.
at first I was like, oh, here we go. Some men with a
Yeah.
podcast, like the last thing I need. You know, I've heard enough male opinions, but
But
I
you kept
think
listening.
it was, what video was it? It was about, I think you guys were talking about like eating other guys' asses. And I was like, okay, they seem cool. Like, this is fine. And then, I like started listening. And then in your last episode, you were talking about like trans athletes and lady boys and all of that stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, I want to be on.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Cool. Yeah, that's dope. I'm glad that you like saw a side of us that no one else usually kind of sees, and just thinks like, oh, these guys are just doing this to be offensive. These guys are just out there to just get views and stuff. Realistically speaking, we're just asking the questions that are on our mind. And it's
exactly.
And we also like, you know, I've met a few trans people in my life, but I've never been close to anyone enough to ask them the kind of questions that do come up on my mind. So it's perfect that you're actually here, because there is a few questions.
Well, go ahead and ask. Like, you guys kind of remind me of the guys that I have in my life anyway, and the kind of guys that I grew up around. So
okay,
I'm sure there's
dope.
nothing you could say that would like offend me. So
right.
That's
well,
why
I'm glad. Well, and just so you know, we're not trying to offend you in any sense of the way, and we're not like trying to take the piss out of you. This is just like really genuine.
No, I'll do that myself. Don't worry.
I'm gonna forever use you now as my trans card as well. I'm just gonna go, well, you know, like,
oh yes,
do that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm a pretty strong trans card.
That's what I thought.
And you're a famous trans person, so it's kind of like that's more valuable. You know what I mean? If I'm just like,
than just any fucking trans on the street.
You know, I can't just throw that around. That's not going to win me any fucking.
So am
fights.
I your first celebrity guest then?
Yeah, well, you're actually, realistically speaking, you're our first non-friend guest, I guess. The only people that we've ever had on is people that are our friends from like school or work.
Oh, love that.
So you're the first one. Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
I love being.
It would have actually been cool.
Happens a lot.
It would have been cool. Oh, that was actually going to be one of my questions, is like how much you like that. But I was going to say, like, you were actually going to come to Perth to like do it in person as well,
which would have been dope.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. You know, I've flown to Sydney for one night parties. Why not go to
really?
Perth to do a
oh, now we know what to ask you after. After all of these serious questions, are going to come all the real like messy questions.
Yeah, we can get to that.
Okay. I wanted to ask, so can you remember the earliest thought where you felt you weren't in the right body? Or, you know, if I don't really know how to question that, where you felt like you weren't
pretty transphobic question that
supposed to be. Yeah, that was definitely
that's number one.
I'm already cancelled. Fuck.
Hit me where I live. Yeah.
Oh no.
I actually can. I can remember the first time that I thought about it, and I was really young, so I didn't have the words for it because I was a literal child, and I was watching Baywatch with my grandfather, and I just remember thinking, like, being kind of confused and being like, I know that David Hasselhoff is the kind of, and I don't want to say this as if I think I would have his body or her body, but that's the body type that I have, and that's a dad, but I'm going to grow up, and I feel like I'm a mom. I'm the Pamela, not the David, and that was really confusing, but I was really lucky in my household. I still grew up with gender, like I was still raised male, but I wasn't raised with gender roles.
Right.
So I didn't
right.
really have to confront those feelings until like my late teens. So I was really lucky in that way.
Okay. And what would you describe as some of those gender roles, I guess? Because I feel like now things are quite ambiguous. Like maybe 20, 30 years ago, someone would be like, women do chores and men don't. But like
Yeah.
as the time is gone, like everyone does chores. And it's not like a thing where it's like, I'm gonna make my wife or husband do it. It's like,
Well, like for an example, bro, like I remember like I still was pushed down sport a hell lot more than my sister was.
right,
Like that's
right,
like it still happens like now, like to like a small degree that impacts like big. So it's kind of like I think it's tough for like any parent, normal parent, to actually just push absolutely zero, because so many are like intrinsically a part of society anyway.
right.
That
Yeah.
it's important. It's
Exactly.
kind of it's hard to like push zero whatsoever, because I've grown up. If I had a kid, I'd fucking like, to be fair, if I had a kid, I'd probably push either of them into, like, for an example, sport. I would make them both do it anyway.
Yeah.
But like, I imagine like for most people, if they had a girl and a boy, they will generally do it just through their own heads. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff, like I was so my father wasn't really in my life, but my grandfather was like my father, and I was really lucky that he was both like a physically
Did you grow up in the
masculine and
same house as
mentally.
Rash?
Yeah, you're legitimately speaking about my life right
Love that.
Did you
Love
get the
that. But
scripts mixed up?
yeah, probably. But he was also very like creative. So the male
Right,
role in my life wasn't intensely strict about masculinity. So to put into
right,
perspective, I would like go fishing with him in a tutu, and like I'd go to his steel fabrication factory, and I'd have like nail polish on and dress like
right,
Catwoman, and
right,
all at like 5, 6, 7 years old. So I really got to experience neutrality in that way.
right,
And if I didn't have that, I would have realized I was trans a lot sooner, but
right.
I also would have had it would have been a lot tougher for me. So
Okay, right. And was there, if that's all right for me to ask, was there anyone in
ask
your
away.
family or in your like close quarters that was against it? Like the
No,
okay,
no,
that's
I got really
wow.
lucky.
Okay,
You- I got so lucky. If every single person in my family, even the extended family, and like my younger siblings, my younger cousin, the older people in my family, my grandparents, my parents, everyone was just like, makes sense. We want
okay.
to make sure you're making the right decision and you don't do something you're going to regret. But what difference does it make?
Right, exactly. You're
I got
still
really
you.
lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. That's very beautiful because like that's
I was
especially for where I'm
I was gonna
from.
say what for yeah, I was gonna say like for like if you got into Rash's family, I reckon you'd
Yeah,
be booted out of the house. But
yeah.
like but like yeah, I was gonna say like what is like the like the most hate you get, or where is it from? Is it from like all online then? Or like how do you find like what's the biggest challenge, I guess?
I think these days it's 100% online, but even that, it's like
Mm.
so minimal to what it used to be when I was
Okay.
younger, which
Right.
is good. Whether that's just because people are more familiar with who I am or because, the climate's changing around that stuff. But yeah, I would say it's only really online. I experience accidental transphobia, um, but nobody really goes out of their way. I think that kind of stuff, at least not where I live, I don't experience it. So
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I was gonna say like I can't imagine like obviously I mean we get enough hate online, so I was just gonna think that that would be and we're the pinnacle of the human race because we're white males, so
Yeah.
everything we say goes. So I was wondering, yeah, like, I imagine that was
well, I
probably
was
what
once
hurt
as
you the
well.
most.
So
Uh,
See, that's interesting. So you should be the most respected because you were at such a high level
in a
and
lot
you
of ways I
degraded
am.
yourself
And I've said this
and
before, like I went from being raised in a upper middle class family as a white male, which is a privileged class, to being a protected class on top of that. So that privilege isn't lost on me. So I'm not one that it kind of I don't experience a lot of the oppression that maybe some trans people do. And so it's hard for me to kind of identify with that stuff. But yeah, like I grew up a semi-rich white male and I know it. So I sometimes need to keep my mouth shut when it comes to the bigger issues pertaining to me, but you just do what you do.
Yes, that's fair. I was gonna say like because obviously, what is it like at that level of your like fame, and do you find that like you being trans helps you in a way, or like how do you find it is in like your like
Sorry, it
career?
just cut out.
So how do you feel like it impacts your career at all?
Well, in the beginning, it was really like the only opportunities I was given was to play a caricature of what a trans woman is, like the butt of the joke. You can go back and watch any appearance I've made, and it's very apparent that I'm playing a character that doesn't exist. And I played into that as well with my own content. So I certainly wasn't helping the trans movement in that way. And these days, because of that, I feel like everyone is, as far as like production and producers and TV shows, everyone is like very cautious about having trans people on TV in case they do it wrong. Like they want to tell the stories, but they're so worried now that they're not going to get it right, that it's just going to be, it's like we're kind of eating our own tail now in that regard. Yeah, so it's always hindered me, but I've pushed through. I think as far as I can tell, with Australian media, social media, reality TV, I've been the longest lasting for this decade, and I'm currently the only trans woman working in entertainment still in Australia consistently. So, you know, I've succeeded in my own ways, but I know it would be easier if I hadn't transitioned or if I was born female. So
yeah, okay.
Right. That was actually one of my questions that I was actually going to ask was, do you think that these shows have portrayed you justifyingly? Like all of these, like Lad Bible, for example, I've seen that you were on a few other shows.
So with Lad Bible, I've always had a really good relationship with them. They've always let me kind of tell the truth and, you know, the behind the scenes. And so I've been really lucky to have that relationship with them.
Yep.
Doing things like Botched, Trial by Kyle. I was on X Factor years ago, which no one remembers, and good luck finding it. I've made sure of that. Those kinds of things. Production will never tell you to play a character because it's immoral.
Right.
But you know what you're being hired for, and if you don't perform, you don't get paid, essentially.
Right. Well, yeah, no, I've been in the acting industry for quite some time, so I can see how like it's never like someone comes up to you and goes, "Hey, could you do this that way?" They'll like pat you on the shoulder and be like, "You know what you're here for." You know, it's kind of almost unspoken.
Exactly. And look, it's made me a lot of money, and I look back and think, God, I was ridiculous, but I don't regret any of it. So
yeah, but we
fun.
all are. We all are ridiculous. We all make mistakes, or mistakes where we feel like they're mistakes later on. You know what I mean? But at the time, that's just how we felt, or you know, what was going through our minds. And I think you yourself as an advocate of trans people, especially being more famous than, I don't really know anyone else that's a famous trans person in the Australian industry. I think I know like one other person, but I just feel like that with all of the way you've portrayed yourself has just been you know what I mean? And like someone else that's trans is going to be another portrayal, you know? So like, I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to get to here, but basically just saying that.
I get what you mean. It's tough because like I'm like my sister, for an example, she's like she came out ages ago as gay. She's not trans, but like I remember she like it was always interesting to me, even with that like movement, watching like how people portray them. because like for me, the way, and I've been like slammed online for saying like things that are like, I don't think one of the ones I've got slammed for the most was when I said like, I don't think you need to come out, for an example. I just think it should be a normalized thing. But like it's that
Yeah.
it's that, you know, it's we haven't got to that stage yet, which is my, you know, arrogance, I guess, in that case. It's like it's a hard thing to push, because then when you put a TV screen in front of you, it's even harder, because if you're showing all the kids like in the all the people that may be feeling that way, or this is what it is to be trans, it's like, no, it's just they're a human being, and that's just
exactly.
that's just a feel
And
like
I think
so
I think
it's
with
hard to
social
scream that.
media, there's the good and the bad about social media in that regard, is that now everyone has a voice. And personally, I'm not sure every voice matters. But it does mean that people get to see multiple ways of being a certain kind of way. And so you take the good with the bad. Glass half full.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like my way of looking at it is like every voice is equal in terms of like what they can say and do and what they believe, but it doesn't mean like one isn't better than the other. It's the same way I look at human life. Like every life is worth the same, but it doesn't mean I think I'm not better than you or someone else isn't better than other people. Like it just means we're all equal in terms of the value. Like, you know, it's like really people cross
Yeah.
that line of your worth and what you
Yeah,
think,
exactly. And I
and
mean,
it
to be
doesn't.
honest, there's
Yeah.
billions of people on the planet. Do we really need to worry about what every last one is doing? I don't think so.
No,
Like,
no one does. No one does. So yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, if it seems like I'm
it's
not
just cut
listening,
out.
I'm just having some issues. Yeah, I'm having some internet issues.
Sorry, it's breaking.
Oh,
Is it breaking up on your end?
no, I'm fine. I think it's just rash.
Oh.
I think. I don't know. I mean, I can hear you
So we'll
fine.
just keep cutting
I can't hear him.
Oh.
Give it a second. How was your day been?
Yeah, just you guys keep.
I've just
You
woke.
guys
Pretty
keep
I
good.
woke
talking.
up. I'm literally in bed still, just because I'm not well. But you know,
Yeah,
it's
I woke
it is
up
what it
about
is.
an hour ago. So
Oh, okay. So you have the same schedule as me. That's cool. Would you ever
yeah,
think about coming? Have you done anything in the UK? Have you thought about
I was
broadening your
asked.
horizons?
I was asked to do the circle, and I
Mm,
regretfully said no to doing that. I wish I had done
mm.
that, but at the time I just was like off the walls crazy, like
Yeah, okay.
abusing prescription drugs and just like losing my mind. So it would
As
have
you
been
do.
so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like I guess you can't continue abusing prescription drugs while being in the circle.
No, exactly.
Yeah, that would have been a tough sell. Maybe like you could have convinced them. Yeah, like did they have a trans person on? Do you know? Because
No, a
if
lot of
so,
the
then
things
that's
that I
bad.
get offered, if I turn it down, like they just don't have a character for it. There's a show coming out. I can't say, but
Yeah,
there
okay,
was
that's
supposed
fine.
to be a trans lead role, and I pulled out at the last minute. And yeah, now they've just cut that whole storyline. So
How do
Is
you?
that where you want to?
Sorry.
Go, yeah, no, go for it. I was going to say, do you want to keep?
Yeah.
Is your goal is to stay in Australia and work away, or what, is it something that you want to breach out of in the future? Like, what is your goals?
um, I just want to like work from my home, which I kind of have always done, unless I'm being paid enough to actually go somewhere, or I just like want to go and do it. I'm happy staying in bed, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Most of my
I
content,
respect that.
I'm in bed, so that's not going to change anytime soon.
I respect that.
Yeah. That's really how the internet is moving in the future for all of it. I just wanted to ask, in that kind of in that situation, it almost, does it ever make you feel like you're almost like a token character to them? Like, do you ever feel like they're only calling you because of your sexuality and the way you present yourself, rather than like who you actually are? Do you ever feel like you're offended by that, or are you just like, fuck yous, like I'll take the money?
No, I definitely take it as a compliment. A lot of the times I've found it's more a case of they want to tell this particular story,
Okay.
and they know that they can get away with telling it if I'm involved.
Right.
Whereas if they pick someone off the street that's trans and they're telling a story that's slightly distasteful, or they get it wrong,
Right.
it might come off as though they're showing it in a harsh way, whereas with me,
Right.
I kind of get that leeway.
You're a well-known advocate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's understandable. Yeah, just a few more things. Yeah, sorry,
the most important thing that I did want to know, because you briefly spoke about it earlier, is like how many like guys are your first? You're like obviously their first, in like having intercourse, having coitus with a trans person. What is that like? Like, because I know a lot of gay people say, well, like, I like straight men. Like, what are you like when like people obviously trying it out with you?
Well, these days it's not so much because I have a pretty strict rule against being the first trans woman somebody sleeps with now, just because I'm older, I'm nearly 30, I'm 27, I'm not looking to be an experiment. But when I was, like 21, 22, I was a lot of firsts for a lot of men.
Yeah, but if Chris Hemsworth hits you up and is like, hey,
Chris
just went quiet.
I think I would be surprised if someone of that status looking for a trans woman, if I would be their first. I'll say that.
Right. I know what you mean. Okay. Okay. I like
and
that.
And so, like when I guess that was in your party lifestyle, was that very popular though? Like, have you got a lot of requests for it when you were younger?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought that would be the case. Yeah.
And I'm guessing that brought, I guess opened up like specific environments for you in some sense, or like got you into like bigger parties. I don't even know, but that's kind of like what I'm assuming.
I want to know if there was any like, is there any awkward situations that you had with guys like that, like when you were younger? Because obviously, like, if I was looking to experiment, not saying I am, but if I was, like, what?
Then I'm the girl to call.
Like,
I'll make an exception.
Yeah. Thank you. What, like, were there any awkward moments with it? Like with guys, did you have any situations where they were like, I don't know, reacted in any way that you didn't expect?
Honestly, sometimes, there's one time in particular that I think just sums it all up. Is I hooked up with this guy, and afterwards he just was like so emotional, which is a whole other like psychological thing that we can get into if you want. Like, I feel like I really get to see the depths of men after I sleep with them. But this guy, he was like on the brink of breaking down, and he was like, my family just wouldn't get it, especially my brother. The next day I was meeting this guy, and I go to his Instagram and I see that he's in a photo with the guy from last night that was like so stressed out, and it was his brother. So like, yeah.
Oh my.
It's not worth breaking down over because he's getting it too.
Right. Jeez.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Did you break the lock? Did you just be like, hey, you guys are like fine? You should have like been like, you guys are actually closer than you think.
You should have threw it. You should have threw it in. Like while like you're doing something, you'd be like, oh, you taste as good as your brother. I mean, you should just throw it in there.
I've done that a few times.
That's amazing. Respect.
Yeah.
The psychology behind that is like mental, like
wild.
in terms of like, I guess like if you've grown up in a household that, I guess he's got to have ideas in his head that he is wrong, and that is purely down to his parents.
Right. Well, it's made
like.
I guess it's agreements you make with yourself and everyone else around you. You know what I mean? Like if one day someone that you're around when you're younger tells you like, pick up that car, cars are for boys. And if you don't like cars, you're not a real boy. You know what I mean? And then it's like, you kind of go from there, similar kind of question, but a little bit different context. Have you ever been in a situation where after the sexual intercourse or anything, I guess, intimate, the person like had an aggressive reaction later on, as in like, this isn't me, like da. Have you ever been in a situation where it got aggressive like that?
No, but I think that's because I'm Jolene Dawson.
Right.
And so there's a lot more risk in if they did,
Right.
you know, whereas again, if I was someone people didn't know and they got violent, they could get away with it, but it's not as likely to get away with it when it's to me. So I'm sure that if they have those feelings, they have them later.
Okay.
Luckily.
Right. That makes sense. And yeah, that's luckily that's a good thing. I mean, you want your own security in terms of that.
Well,
and I guess
it's not really a great thing for the rest of the trans community, I would say.
yeah,
It's
Well,
probably
right,
quite a
yeah.
negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who
Just
gives a
unlike
fuck? You
Jolene.
got it. You're the queen, so it's all good. Like someone's got to stay protected, you know.
Do you
No,
reckon? Yeah, you can
no.
take the Queen of England's position.
Yeah.
I'll try. I'll do my best.
I'd like that. Whenever everyone's like saluting whoever now is in charge, I'll just be in the back saying my prayers to Jolene.
Perfect. Just what I wanted.
We'll slowly build like a fan club over here. Oh, actually, you know, like, do you have? I was interested. Do you have like any like diehard fans like that are like kind of crazy about you from like certain countries or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll be the Instagram holder of like Jolene Dawson.
Oh yeah,
England.
fan. We'll be the fan. We'll be the fan
Fan,
page.
Can
yeah, I'll
you?
be
Run the
the
Because
fan
fan
page.
I'm the most
It'd be
famous
good
in
branding.
the UK. So please do
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Tap into that
I'll do
market
that.
for me because
It's
I
like-
can't be bothered.
That's crazy that you say that because we have that same kind of scenario where majority of our viewership is actually from the UK randomly, and that's way before Jack moved or anything like that. What do you think?
well,
What do you think? What do you think that is?
I think it's
The
just
Daily
numbers. I
Mail.
honestly just think it's.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
literally just
for
the
you,
Daily
it's-
Mail.
yeah.
I kind of
Daily
I
Mail.
had a following on Facebook. Like I was like, you know, during those like Facebook famous
Facebook
years.
famous. Woo!
Yeah.
Those were the
And I was
days. Oh,
kind
those
of-
were the days. I swear to God.
They were the days. And I was like the one of two people. I'm sure we can guess who the other one is. I'm not going to say his name. I was the only one of the only ones to kind of bring that into traditional media by way of Daily Mail.
Right.
And then what do you know? A few years later, they open an Australian office and everyone on maths thinks that they can follow the Jolene blueprint, but
Right.
I'm the one that wrote it.
Right. I actually, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. But I saw one of your TikToks. I did give some time to research you thoroughly. Watched a lot of videos.
Which ones?
On TikTok, a few of them.
Only
So,
TikTok?
no, I've seen
Pornhub?
some stuff. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I did not know.
Oh, well, we'll circle back to that. Tell me about the
Right.
TikTok.
Right. Okay. We'll circle back to. We'll research the other stuff later in private time.
Perfect.
So I saw a TikTok which kind of was you saying that you're gonna start basically calling out all these men in relationships that have been hitting you up. I want to ask, how did that go?
So I didn't do that. I was having like a manic episode.
Right.
It happens a lot. Recently, I was seeing someone and he was going out of his way to tell me that he wanted to be exclusive. And I was like, that's
Right.
great, but like I'm busy and like you can see other people, like just
Yeah.
tell me. And he went out of his way to say that like I'm the only person he was seeing. I knew he was lying. And then it turned out that the whole time he had a girlfriend and they moved in together. Then just sent me off the deep end. Because it's like I gave you all these opportunities to be transparent with me and you went out of your way to lie to me. That's where the problem is. I couldn't care
That's
less.
wild.
Like, so that,
And-
yeah, I just was having a manic episode, but I
And
never
how-
outed anyone.
Right. And how long are you aware of how long they were in a relationship and how long you guys were? Like, you know what I mean? So I could kind of
So
work out
I
the
had
time
been
frame.
seeing him on and off for 2 years.
Okay.
The first time we hooked up, he had a girlfriend and I found out and I said, like, if you have a girlfriend, I don't want to be a part of it. And then he kept chasing me for like a few months and he was like, I don't have a girlfriend. So we hooked up a couple more times and then I got busy, things kind of like, I just stopped talking to him. And then he came back. And when he came back, there's a pattern. I think it's he gets a girlfriend to save face and then was having me on the side because that's what he wanted.
What he's actually
And
into,
so they
right?
had been together for 6 months, which was around that time he came back saying that he wanted to be exclusive. So there was more time invested in me, but I guess she got the house. So who really won?
Right. But then again, it's like, you know, like some things that are like kept in the dark are usually like the truth. So it's almost like the girlfriend, well, the girlfriend, the girlfriend that he has, you know, that's all facade, and that's all really just for like whoever is watching him, I guess his friends, family, etc., etc. So
I guess I can't make any assumptions. I don't want to, you know, maybe they're happy together, maybe they're loving life. I don't want to kind of hinder that, but there was a pattern.
Okay. Yeah. Right. That makes sense. Okay. Jack, you got anything? I've got a few more questions.
I was gonna say that just intrigues me, like the idea of having a double life like that, like
crazy.
Because it's time. How do you fit time into that? Like I'm so meticulous with what I do, and I'm just thinking like, how do I barely have time for like 2 people in my life, like having like friends and then also like 2 girlfriends to me just seems like the worst thing in the world.
Literally. And this is what I said to his girlfriend. I was like, I'm not sure he has an actual job because he was always available to me whenever I wanted. So I don't like.
Whoa.
Did he take you out to do nice things?
No, it was strictly physical.
Okay, so
100% didn't work. Did not work.
Yeah,
send a link.
He was cute enough, and he was convenient. You know, I like him buff, hung, and dumb as rocks, and 2 out of the 3 ain't so bad. So
was he over 6 foot?
No, he was short.
Insecurity. Okay, cool.
I like short men.
Dude,
I like.
How tall are you?
6'2".
Interesting.
6'2".
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So
look, Jolene, it was really nice talking to you. We can't talk to anyone that's above 6 foot because we are below.
Yeah,
we're the kings of that.
Well, thank you for having me. It was nice meeting you guys.
Half our fan base is just gone.
If you could send your knees through in the mail, I'd love to have your knees because, like, I want to be tall. So you don't need it.
That's
you don't need
not normally
inches.
what men ask my knees for, but sure.
Right. I didn't. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Actually, you probably will need them, so don't send those.
Yeah.
Even if you were on your knees, you'd just be giving me a peck on the cheek anyway. So
we're too short. we'd have
as long as I've got 2 knees, I've got a job. So
we'd have to hop up for a kiss, you know.
Yeah.
We need a step ladder.
So you prefer men that are shorter than you?
Yeah, I do.
But
I think
you want them to be bulky though.
Not always.
Okay.
That's so when it comes to like if they're buff, I probably wouldn't want to spend my life or an extended. That's more of a kink for them to be buff. But yeah, I like guys shorter than me. I think it's a power thing.
That was my next question. Is it a power thing? Because it usually comes down to that.
Yeah, because in my day-to-day life, I like to have all the power. That doesn't translate after 6 p.m. But I think that's why I prefer shorter men. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Do you so kind of wanted to do you have any, like, what is your attraction to women? Do you have any, or is it more so just kind of like if you see a beautiful woman, you can be like, that's a beautiful woman? Or is it more of like I'd want my body like that kind of thought process, if you know what I mean?
It depends on the woman. Like growing up, I always kind of idolized Fran Drescher and Michelle Pfeiffer. Like I just thought they were gorgeous. I really wanted to look like them.
Yeah.
These days I'm happy with how I look, but I am also attracted to women. So
okay.
It's my perception of myself isn't too like externally influenced by what other women look like.
Right. Okay. Right. And so basically you feeling like you're female from the days of your childhood, it kind of, do you think, what I was kind of trying to get as, how much of your sexuality and how much of like kind of like your nurture and plus your environment and your, you know, your nature and stuff and everything together, how much do you think, like, I know this is a really stupid scientific question, but what do you think of like the percentages, at least within you? If you are you aware of that in any sense? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I would say about 70% female. Like if we're gonna kind of use that rubric, I
right,
would say I definitely still have those like masculine traits. Like I have that instinctive need to protect the people I care about, which is
right,
like a more masculine trait.
yeah.
I can't find anything that's a more masculine trait. Um, but yeah, I would say 70-30. Wait, is that, yeah, 70-30.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, right. And
I,
what's your
I have
Sorry,
something. I have
Jake.
something quickly for you. I've just been going through your YouTube in the background here, and I am intrigued by a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like spending 8 hours at a glory hole?
Oh, now that never happened.
Oh, okay, okay, damn.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I would have been interested. Have you gone to one?
No, that's so risky.
Oh, okay,
And then what
interesting.
if
Okay,
people like recognize me? No,
yeah, no, I mean,
Right,
obviously,
right.
definitely
I'm
not
not saying
now.
I wouldn't.
Definitely not now.
What is the like riskiest kind of like public, I wouldn't say exhibition, but kind of like sexual thing you've done?
Um, Probably nothing. That's just not really my thing.
Okay,
Mm,
Yeah.
fair enough.
right.
So you just
Sorry.
clickbaited the fuck out of me. So fair play to you. You get an extra view on that. So you are the real winner at the end of the day. So it's okay. You can continue now, Ash.
I some of these next questions are a bit more, you know, like, you know, people don't like to hear them. So I wanted to ask, what is your opinion on the whole pronouns thing, and how many genders is there?
Mm,
Oh, how many genders are there? Well, that's actually culturally specific. Because like it's between 2 and 3. Like worldwide, culturally, it's only ever been between 2 and 3. As far as pronouns go, it's like I personally don't get it myself,
Right.
but I don't have to get it to be respectful. And the people that make the argument of like, oh, well, now I'm going to identify as a helicopter,
Right. Yeah, that's when it
and
starts
they
going
say that
crazy.
sarcastically, but I think like go ahead. Like I would have no problem referring to someone as a helicopter. My bills are paid, my bed is made, I'm getting laid.
Yeah.
I don't like, it makes no difference
But
to
don't you
me if you
think,
want.
sorry, don't you think like sometimes things can be, I guess, taken a bit too far, because it's not like, how do I say this? It just doesn't seem logical after a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it
yeah, but that's
once
just because
you
it's not
start
logical
telling,
doesn't mean it matters.
well, that's, you know, that's I understand, that's what I was trying to get to, is like a lot of us are illogical. A lot of our desires and dreams and things that we have within us is irrational and delusional at times, you know, and we still go out there and commit ourselves, and that thing becomes reality. So I'm not saying that all of these things that people feel are wrong. I'm just saying, like, is there, are we pushing it? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
I
as a
guess it depends on the setting, really.
right.
Like if it's coming into legislation and
Yes, that's where I wanted to
then
kind of
we
get
have
to.
some issues.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know if the person that lives next door wants to identify as paint,
Right.
then maybe
Yeah.
I'm going to have a hard time communicating with them, and that friendship
Right.
probably won't develop.
Right.
That's as far as it
That's
goes.
what
Like,
you said there is pretty much exactly what I say. It's like
Yeah.
realistically at the end of the day, I don't care too much about whatever anyone else wants to do. But my opinion of it is like I'm not, most likely just because of the way I am and the way you are, we're probably not gonna like be best friends. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Like you probably don't want to you probably don't want to be best friends with me, like just as much as I don't want to be best friends with you. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's not as you're right. It's like as long as it's not really like demanding, because like the thing for me is like so much of the world is generalized, and like to stop what we do to be able to generalize things is silly. So like just being able to, like, if I look at someone and I think it's a she, so I say she, but it's not a she. Like that's just how it's gonna
Yeah.
be if you
There
look
should be
like a
some
she to me.
leverage. I don't feel
Like
like there's
it's
leverage
not.
anymore.
No, I definitely
Yeah,
agree with
it's
this. And I've always used the example of like so many times, like if I haven't shaved in 4 days and I've only just gotten out of bed and I'm in sweats and I run to the shops and the clerk refers to me as he,
Yeah.
well, that's because I look like a man. They're not psychic,
Right.
nor do they need
Yeah.
to
yeah. They're
be.
not.
And
They're not trying to
they
be a
don't
fucking
need my
dick.
life
They're just
story. I'm
Right.
secure enough in myself to be like, oh, that's a shame. But
Right.
like, boohoo.
Well, it's I always find it like why I always find it strange because it's like why can't people take it like race or countries? You know, if I see, you know, if someone sees a person from Africa and goes, "Hey, bro, are you from Nigeria?" and you go, "No, I'm from Uganda," you're not going to get offended. You know, you're just going to be
No,
like, "Okay, he
exactly.
assumed that I'm from this other country." It's like if people came up to me and were like, "Are you Bosnian?" and I'd be like, "No, I'm Serbian," and I get angry. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it like I would say it depends on how you're presenting. Like for me, if I feel as though I look like a woman and
Right.
everyone throughout the day has just, projected that they agree with that, and then somebody refers to me as he, my mind immediately goes to this is intentional. But if I know
Right.
yeah.
that I'm kind of in that state of like, it's ambiguous, maybe I kind of look like a man, maybe I kind of look like a woman, maybe I totally look like a man today and I'm aware of it, then it's like, yeah, they're just identifying what they
I think
see.
I think you can tell a lot by tone as well. Like generally, I imagine like you probably speaking to so many people, you've probably gathered now the difference between how someone says it to you and how people speak to you. Like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can probably distinguish pretty much straight away. Yeah, if there was ill intent there, or if there's like if it's just like, oh, you were just getting some lollies from the shop and someone says something that they don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And like, if somebody is going out of their way to be rude, then that's the problem. Like, it doesn't really change
Yeah.
your life, even though, like, it's
exactly.
insulting
Yeah,
or hurtful to some people. It's like that person's trying to be rude. Don't give them the validation of that being successful. And like, I still have like quite a deep voice. So if I'm over the phone, I'm calling like a hotline or something, I know they're going to say, sir. Do
Yeah.
I want them to? No.
Yeah.
But I still get to go to bed every night and wake up every morning and the sun shines like it
Yeah.
did yesterday. So
Yeah. There's just some things that you just like, I'm not trying to compare myself in any way to someone that's trans, and like the issues that I've had with people throughout my life aren't as severe, or I don't feel like I've been, I guess, as ostracized. But there was a point in time where I just moved to this country, and not only did my accent have something to do with it, but also my name being, Radovan, it pushed a lot of people away. People are,
yeah.
people who are,
I had to beat him up a couple of times because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking
Well,
just. I had to,
oh,
attempted,
well,
fucking,
attempted
yeah,
to
you
beat
got
me
to.
up. Attempted. Yeah, you got to
yeah,
kick down
just
those
fucking.
immigrants. You got to make
Yeah.
sure. You got to make sure they assimilate. Because if I didn't assimilate, I
I
probably would
gave
have
him
killed
an eye
myself.
patch. Gave him an eye patch. Fucking.
Oh, actually, yeah, no.
Fucking.
You know what? No, actually, I was ostracized as a motherfucker. I was the shortest, skinniest. I had circular glasses, and I had an eye patch that I had to switch between every day. So motherfuckers came at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
that I'll be honest with you. It sounds like your childhood was probably tougher than mine. So you do win that one.
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say he actually won up to you. He's worse than trans. He got bullied more than a
Yeah.
trans kid.
yeah. And my dad
Yeah.
was not there, but he was
Somebody called Joe
there.
Rogan.
Like he was there, kind of like he'd
Yeah.
walk past me. So there's that kind of trauma as well. But we got through
He
it.
bit
We're
him.
here. Yeah, and he bit.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not go into that. That's a bit, that's still trauma that I'm dealing with. Let's get over that one. Um, yeah. So, I wanted to
One thing I
ask you.
wanted to
Oh,
know, I
sorry.
wanted to. Oh yeah, so, I was gonna say
No, you go
the
first.
name Jolene. The name Jolene. Did you come up with that,
Is
or
it the
is it
song?
like?
Can I ask you? Is it the
Is it yeah?
song?
Like where's that come from?
So my name used to be Joseph, and I wanted to keep the Joe, but I didn't want to be Joanne. I didn't want to be Josephine or anything like that. And I was like, I literally had the forms filled out, but the name Joe Dawson, it looks like a witness protect name. It's not very memorable. It's very plain. I was like, I don't want that. Like, what? I need to come up with something that I'm not hearing often, is easy to remember. Like, what is it? And then I was like, oh, Jolene. So I quickly listened to the song and was like, yeah, this will work. And I just put it on the form and handed it in. And
yeah, it kind of almost like makes sense. Like, it's like Jolene, don't take my man, you know, like,
yeah. Can't
makes
make any
sense.
promises.
What was the process like in terms of changing name? Because there's actually something I kind of want to do, like in the future. Like,
so
how was that process? It was okay, cool. That's cool. Oh,
Yeah. So
what are you going to
get
change
the
your
forms,
what are you
you
going
pay
to
the
change your
money,
name
and it's
to?
done.
I don't know if it's possible, but I just don't want a last name. Like, I just want to.
Well,
be
yeah,
known.
it's
I just wanna be
possible.
Jack.
Kanye did it recently.
I
He's
just
only
want
Ye.
I just want to be Jack. So like, I just want to be like that. That's all. And I know it's very like.
Can you
but I
get
don't want to
simple?
I don't want to change my
Can
name.
you get simple before it?
Just Jay.
Simple
Simple
J.
Jack.
Yeah, I'm all good. I just want to be Jack, and then
Right.
like no one
But
can
with a
ever say
Q,
anything
at
about
least, so it's like a little different. You know, it's like niche.
what. No, because then it turns to Jacques,
Yeah, but you know,
which is cool.
yeah,
I
exactly.
love Jacques.
Maybe.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, I do.
see,
So do I.
see.
So do I.
Jacques.
too,
Yeah, change it to
Jacques
Jacques.
can get away with a lot of bullshit.
Right,
let me tell
there you go.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
I wanted
I thought
to.
about changing my name to like a title, you know, like Miss or Ms, or just QU as in Queen, and then having my last name, my first
Dawson,
name.
yeah,
That would be
yeah.
cool.
I mean, you could go
Yeah.
Duchess Dawson.
Dutch.
Nah, not you don't like the iteration.
Nah.
I wanted to ask what got you into, because I'm a musician myself. What got you started into music? What kind of got you into the career?
I wouldn't say career. What got
Hobby,
me into
passion.
it was I would go with money grab.
Okay.
What got me into it was
Thanks for
remember
being
Rebecca
honest.
Black?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So when Friday
She's
came
come out
out,
recently,
I was
hasn't
like,
she? She's come.
yeah.
She's like come out recently, like being like,
Yeah. When Friday came out, I was like, oh my God, I have to do something like this. So I made my first single, Lather, Rinse and Regret.
Yeah.
And it just like so ridiculous. People didn't get it. People didn't realize it was a joke.
Right.
But it paid off. It got me where I am today. So
right.
And now I just keep making
songs.
My last song, Throat Goat, was kind of just like a joke about the fact that I like was doing porn, and that's kind of what I was known for, and it just was funny.
I actually liked I actually really rated your voice on your song Nirvana. I thought you had a very good rock voice.
Yeah, well, I can actually sing.
Okay. So that one was.
I just think it's funnier if I don't.
Right.
Normally, all your other songs are dog shit. But
yeah, you're fucking.
Song,
no, I just meant. I meant because the other.
right.
Well, you didn't listen to the other songs. Okay, she was rapping in the latest one. I'm just saying, Nirvana. She had a good like rock voice. Like it went well. She flowed with the song. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Bro, I fucking tweak and engineer things. I just hear things. You know, you wouldn't get it, Jack, bro. You're a little kid, bro.
But that is the general consensus. Nirvana is the only song I wrote myself. So,
well, see, there you go. That's why it was good.
Yeah.
If you need a ghostwriter, I know a guy who does pod with me.
Yeah,
he would love
I'll hire anyone
to work with you.
Poems.
If it's a quick turnover, I'll hire anyone.
It's a quick turnover. I just don't know if you're gonna make. I just don't know if you're gonna make money off my lyrics. But
have you heard my music?
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, he's a lot more introspective than Throat Goat.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like I'm the throat goat. It would be like I could feel it seething down my throat. You know, it would be like very literature like.
Yeah, well, Throat Goat Part 2, the sequel, the remix. In the video, did you watch the TikTok I made? And I called it a music video, but it was a TikTok for Throat Goat.
Yes, yeah.
That's my actual throat.
That's all you need now. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like an actual endoscopy of my vocal cords. Yeah.
Oh,
that's pretty good. That's
pretty cool. Yeah, I respect. That's a very different idea almost. Like
you're proving, you're backing up your statement. You're backing up what you're saying.
Yeah, someone
Like-
nowadays
Right.
normally with a song like that, you'd probably just do the whole Ice Spice turn around vagina hold thing, you know.
I don't know what that means.
You know Ice Spice?
No.
What?
Spice Girls?
No. Ice Spice might be like the biggest thing right now. Like everyone is talking
Dude.
about it. Everyone's obsessed. Everyone's obsessed, especially because she's had this move. Look, I'm gonna try to pull it off. But basically, she bends over like this, and she does this, and like she shakes her shit. She's just that's the
Right.
move, right? And that's what's made her incredibly famous. Also because you know the shit that she shakes is
Phenomenal.
Voluptuous.
it is unbelievably big and natural, which is wild that it's natural. So
Well,
That's
that
all
I
I'm
can't
saying.
relate
Bravo.
to. At least not in the back, but
fair enough. I wanted to ask you about your would you call them augmentations, I guess?
yeah.
What made you want to get them? Like the ones up here.
It just makes doing my hair easier. That's-
Oh, okay.
and they're not as
can
big.
that's what I was going to ask. Can you like describe it by hand? How big they are really
They're
are?
probably like about this thick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I just tease over it. So I make
Okay.
them look bigger, but yeah.
Right. Okay. And did that hurt? Was that painful?
No. Anesthesia. That's why God invented Percodan.
Right.
The good shit.
Fair enough. The good
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Hit me with that morphine.
Yeah.
So what like so I just wanted to ask like what's some of your I guess future intentions? What's some of your plans?
I'm so glad you asked this because I have every intention of running for Prime Minister.
Ooh.
Well, you're being
I will come.
like actual serious. You're not saying
I'm
this
being
is
serious.
okay.
Not
And
the next
I will
election,
come back
probably
and
the one
vote.
after. Yeah.
okay, and what part are you joining in an independent party? Are you starting your own party? What's your go?
Well, that's what I'm unsure of at the moment. So I don't think I'll make it to the next election, but I'm thinking the election after, I would probably just do my own party if that seems like the most viable option. Otherwise, I
Mhm.
would have to go with a
Fishing
already
what's it
existing
called?
party.
Fishing, it's like something marijuana fishing sex party or something like that. It's got the randomest name, but that seems like they seem pretty open.
Or
Is
just
what I'm saying.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Join Labour. Join the Labour Party.
Yeah, join
Yeah.
Fuck
join
it,
Labour.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Fucking-
Exactly.
You
Go
said you were
bullshit.
semi-rich, and as we can see now, you seem to be living pretty lavishly. So you'd probably fit with the liberals.
Yeah, I see
more
you.
so.
You got a couch.
Yeah, you got a
couch,
fucking
I've got half a couch.
liberals with their couches.
I know. How dare we? No, I was back in the day. These days, not so much. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Spend it while you got it, and has always been my motto. But
Right.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
And in terms of these like what are your political ideologies that you wish to kind of endorse?
I think we need to reform the police, expand the reintegration of ex-prisoners, ex-convicts. We need to also reform education is a big one. Yeah.
Okay. And in what sense? Like what makes you passionate about these specific subjects, and what would like just some rough ideas of what you would do?
I have a lot of experience dealing with people that have come out of prison, and I find that a lot of the times people that end up going through the criminal justice system, it all could really have been prevented at the educational level.
Right.
And then, if these kids from disadvantaged backgrounds grow up, they end up in prison, they come out of prison, they were never taught how to behave. And so
Right.
there's no real reintegration for them. And that's when you have these repeat offenders, which is not healthy. It wastes our money. It doesn't help anyone. And it's a waste of potentially good life. So
Right. And what about so like I guess since we're kind of on this educational kind of thing, do you think these new ideologies, such as the new styles of pronouns and all of these other things, do you think they should be taught in school?
I don't think any ideology should be taught in school, whether that's religion or gender ideologies or even science. People have a hard time realizing that science is a belief system as well.
Right.
I think those sorts of things, if you want your child to understand that, you have every right to make that decision. But to me, that should be extracurricular. As far as I'm concerned,
it should be.
Children should go to school to learn how to read, count, support each other. You know, maybe teach them that there's different kinds of people in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
And how to be mindful of that. But I wish I had known how to do my taxes. I think everyone can agree on that.
Oh my God.
School
you know,
should be
I actually
weirdly,
I don't think schools should teach you how to do taxes. I don't think it's a teacher's
Really?
job. I think that's your parents' job. I think that's your parents' job.
Okay. So
Yeah.
And that's and I
no,
totally,
taxes are government mandated.
Yeah, so it should be
Yeah,
taught through the
but
system.
I don't think it's fair on teachers to, like, what are you going to do? Have a taxes class? Like, once you learn, no, but once you learn, you learn.
They have a computer science class. Do you need to know how to use a computer that well?
It's not something that like can be continuously taught. Like, it's maybe like literally just like a one lesson thing. Like, it's not like a.
Well, it still should be taught. It's just like, you know, even if it's a
definitely
one lesson
should be
thing.
taught, and it's something like, if you mess up on your taxes, you're going to prison. It's government mandated, and yet so many people aren't given the skills to understand that. And if you come from a background without the privileges of having parents that understand how to do tax, you're going to fall back into that system where you're in that cycle that we were talking about before.
I get you in that case. I get you in that case. Yeah, I just think it would need to be put under like a big bracket or something, because it's not like it should be. It's more. I would say more like in accounting in general, or like money smarts in general should be a class.
But that's what I was going to say.
That should be involved in that. It's not like I agree with that. Then
there should be some sort of financial class where they teach you not only how to do taxes, but how to save properly, how to invest properly, things like that.
Because that's this man's right here needs that. Yeah, this man's just speaking right now needs to. Bro, I just
need self-control, which I don't have.
Yes,
self-control class. Self-control class.
Yeah, you know what self-control class would be? If they just tied me to the back of the class and just like, I don't know, like shook weed in front of me, and I'm like,
we've all been there.
Just for a day. Just for a fucking, oh my God. I need that fucking self-control, I swear to God. So I totally agree with what you're saying. In terms of my question, I think it kind of all these gender politics and all these ideologies fall under the same bracket as religion. I don't think religion should be like pushed down anyone's throats in school. You know, no. I come from a country.
I think it's bad that like even parents push religion on kids. Like, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah,
it's the same with anything. Pushing anything on your kids kind of unfair when they're young and they're so impressionable.
Unless you're pushing Pete towards them.
So that. But like, I think so. I think schools doing it is so stupid. But you know, I went to a Catholic school at one point, and like it also can like put you off. Like, I was like in a household where like religion wasn't a thing, and then going to a Catholic school was kind of like, what the fuck's going on? Why am I in church? You begin to hate it. Like, it's definitely like.
Was it weird for you because? Was it weird for you because the priest showed you way more physical contact than your dad, or?
And also just like he liked more physical contact than anyone. Like, he was a good kisser. He was. That's
good. How you learned kissing, and you passed on the knowledge to me.
Kissing.
Well, I was briefly a Scientologist, so.
What? How much money did you lose? That's the real question I want to ask. How much money did you invest into this?
Oh, not that much.
How much is not that much? Because for me, $1,000 is much. Because, you know, poor things.
1 comma.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
That's wild. What got you? Yeah. What? Who convinced you? Tom Cruise?
Myself.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes I get bored and I do things, and.
Right. What other? Okay, that's interesting. Can you give us another
token trans?
Yeah. Is this all a facade? Is this like what you know?
Maybe.
What other, I guess, occult things have you been a part of?
So there's only one other.
Oh, I'm gonna hear this.
And it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like I might get cancelled for this because the reason that I there's two others, but one I didn't actually join, and that was the Freemasons, because I realized that I was going to transition and I probably couldn't be a Freemason. But my grandfather was very confused when two suited men showed up to the door with a huge Freemasons kit for me.
Jeez.
But the OTO, that was interesting. That lasted a couple of weeks for me. And the reason I joined is because Peaches Geldof was in the OTO, but she like tragically killed herself. So
I don't know what OTO is. My apologies.
It's short for something Audipius. I don't know. I still actually have their like the Book of Law, which is like their Bible.
What do they do?
I think you can buy it anywhere. I'm not sure.
What differentiates them from anyone else?
Not much. It
seems cool.
From what I could gather, it was a money thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And
I
I've
thought
always
it was gonna be cooler.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, is it like, does it? Because I feel like a lot of those occult things start off with like, we're gonna pull our money together and buy ourselves financial freedom, but then every Saturday it's an orgy. So it's like, you know, like it feels like
it wasn't that.
Oh.
It wasn't.
Well,
that.
you were
It
hoping it was.
Yeah. If you're looking for that, you go with Sanctum in LA.
That's the thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good start writing down.
I know that it's a popular thing around New York, that there's a lot of occult things where people meet up just to have orgies, and then like will like burn some sort of like effigies while doing the orgy. So just
I don't know about the burning, but
yeah, so there's this, I don't know what they're called, but basically they'll burn like this effigy, like this kind of like sage like statue thing, and then they'll all just fuck in the smoke.
well, that just, do you need the
I
smoke
die.
involved?
I think it's
Yeah.
for some sort of like out of body feeling. You're supposed to
But
like inhale.
How slow do you have to be going though to be able to like catch your breath? I don't want
That's
that.
what I mean.
Let's not introduce smoke to the room.
Yeah. I mean, what about a hot box?
I would just chill just outside the smoke, you know? I'd just be like, yeah. Just,
what do you mean?
Come
What
out
about
here
a
for
hot
sec.
box?
Well, like if someone filled it up with marijuana and then let that bitch go, I think everyone would be fine and breathing in there. I mean, wouldn't, but would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but not if you're engaging in, excessive physical activity is what I mean.
Yeah, I
so
guess
they must be going pretty slow to be doing that, and that's not.
Or taking turns.
Yeah,
maybe.
or they're not going hard enough. Which is a problem.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't have both.
Okay. I wanted to ask, who's your current male crush?
My current male crush. I don't know. I feel like I have one, and I don't have my phone with me. I like people I know. Like I'm not a celebrity crush.
Oh, okay.
He was lining you up for a dunk there. He wanted you to say him.
Yeah, well, I was just like waiting. I was just like posing. I was like,
that was.
Sorry.
That was.
Yeah. Well, which one wants to go first then? Let me know.
I'll do it if you do it, bro.
I have to climb up on Jack to get there.
Touch in the middle.
Yeah, we're short. So
yeah, no, we'll do it. We'll be in like one of those big trench coats and like be.
We'll be one guy in a trench coat.
Perfect. That works for me.
Oh my days. I think I had maybe one more question or so.
I'm trying to think of my male crush at the moment. I can't think of
my male crush. Shit. I swear I always had one. It used to be Brad Pitt, like just from like fucking Troy in that movie Troy, bro.
No wonder you like me.
That's why I'm into you, bro. Because you're like the uglier version of him. You're like the poor man's version.
Yeah. I'm not the Troy version.
Yeah. And Brad is like pretty like way cooler than the Jack.
Honestly, actually, I think I have him there. I actually think I have him. That's one thing I think I got him on.
Nah, sorry.
Brad is fine. I don't
No,
want to be called that.
I do have a current crush. It's, you know, the guy from I don't even know what they're called, the Employed and Inspirational, or whoever they are. The one that
Oh
looks like
Oh yeah,
unemployed,
yeah.
something inspired unemployed or
Yeah,
something like that.
Inspired
Employed stuff,
Unemployed, the one
yeah.
that looks like
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser. He could get it. And the guys,
Oh, the one
I've
with
got them wrong, Swag on the Beat. Not the guys from both.
Both.
Yeah.
Have you met them?
All right, well,
No.
we'll tag them a bunch and try and see.
I wanted to ask since you have been approximately how long have you been like within the Australian kind of like scene, like fame, I guess, in some sense, and like who is someone that you met that you were disappointed by?
Oh, I
Gee,
can't
that's hard.
answer that one.
Oh,
That's
I'd say it straight away. I'd throw it out there. Let that person
you
melt.
wouldn't you wouldn't if money was on the line, bro.
Is my
Money
true.
and
And
just
jobs.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to shit on
if
people.
I did say, I would have to explain how and why, and I don't
Right.
think right, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Because I was just gonna say, like, one of those things, you know, like sometimes you meet your heroes or like people that you kind of admire at least, and then you meet them and you're like, oh, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, or you meet them and they're a dud root. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's worse.
That's
Yeah.
way
That's
worse. Because you've like committed
Exactly.
yourself physically then, and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
you're gonna disappoint me like this, all those, because it almost hurts way more, right? Because it's like all of these years of placing you on a pedestal, and this is all you
Yeah.
got.
The problem was that it didn't hurt at all. Let's say that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. I was gonna say because I've never really actually had that thinking about it now, where like you want someone so bad, then you have them, and you're like, you know, like that's a foreign concept to me.
Yeah, well, until I
Yeah.
get Emily Ratajkowski, I won't know either. So,
But like even like in your past, even if you like you've had girls that you've chased for ages, right?
Mm.
And
Oh,
you got
no,
them
I
eventually.
got one of the ones. Oh, actually,
That's what
I
I
was
mean.
disappointed. No, you know what? No,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I guess
Yeah, like,
that's a good one. Let's say not celebrity, but have you like I guess relationship wise? Because I've been in a relationship where I chased this girl for about 3 years in some sense. Like we were friends, but like she was on and off in relationships. And then when I finally got her,
now he's running away.
let's say the opposite. I mean, she's not chasing me anymore, but I was running away for a little while. But you know what I mean? Like you almost like place this person on a pedestal and you're like, this person's perfect for me. They're going to be like, have you been in like a situation like that yourself?
Not really. I'm more like, I'm pretty upfront. If I like find someone attractive, I just tell them and then it's like a yes or no.
Okay.
So more than anything, I play hard to get. And then once they get me, I play hard to want. So they're probably the ones regretting it.
So
yeah, like you were saying as well before though as well, like you seem way more like career minded in terms of like you don't, if you're busy, you're more than happy just to be like, I'm doing my shit right now.
yeah.
Like
100%. Like if things get to the point where we're together, you can move in next door. Like I've got stuff to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And would you say that's a more masculine trait or?
Oh,
because
definitely. I'm not. That's like traditional 50s husband. I'm not looking for a partner. I'm looking for an assistant I don't have to pay.
Right. And you're like, would you so you're the type of person that consider like, even if you live together, you like keep your own bed?
So it would be more a shared bedroom and then our own bedroom separately.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that's like really popular.
Yeah, that's
like
that,
having
that
a
is
shared
done.
and then having two separates.
Yeah, I think the ideal living situation for me, if I were to spend the rest of my life with someone, which I don't know any man that could be, one man's just not enough, would be a townhouse with a shared top floor. That's the only way it could work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you won't survive in London then, because like just like buying anything that's more than a studio will absolutely kill you. So.
Oh yeah.
So maybe stay. We're back to that. Stay in Australia.
Yeah,
you might be better off.
I will.
I'm just trying to think. I feel like I might have had something else. but I also don't want to take up too much of your time since
I've got all night.
you seem way busier than
it's
me
night
and Jack.
there. Yeah,
Well,
I'm,
it's
I'm,
yeah.
No,
I
I've got
forgot
all
about that.
night. We didn't circle back to the porn. Is that something you want to talk about?
Oh, right. Yes, because you know what's funny? Funnily enough, other than our sexuality and I guess what we're into, me and you seem to be very similar because I've always wanted to get into porn as well. So I wanted to ask you, how is that experience? How long have you been in porn? And what are you willing to do?
Well, that's a good question. I retired from adult content last year.
Okay.
I was doing it for 5 years, and I have always said I'll never have sex on camera for less than 8 figures, and that has stayed true. So I've only ever done oral.
Okay.
And that's why I made the song Throat Goat, because
Go
it's
right.
yeah.
I have
And
seen
was
you suck off a carrot in one of your YouTube videos as well.
Oh, love
Um,
that. I know the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite popular video of yours.
well, that was the preview. That was the preview to the
Yeah.
content.
Did it
Yeah.
inspire erotic feelings?
It taught me things. It taught me it's a valuable
I
lesson.
felt like
if anything.
I gained something.
I'm gonna have it on my phone at all time just in case I need it. In terms of
Yeah.
putting it to people, in terms of just self motivation.
You've got bills to pay. You're short this week. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like I could be a valuable commodity on the streets. I don't know how many people are like me on the streets, and I feel like I could definitely work my magic.
Exactly.
And so in terms of these porn videos, were you filming with random people? Were you filming with other people in the industry? Was it
No, so I was
on.
filming with men that I knew.
Okay.
And like my whole thing was that they're always big, and I
Right.
always go to the base. So I had to kind of, and that I already knew who would meet that mark. And
Is that based on color?
faces in it.
Is that based on color? Is that based on color? You knew what they had because of the color they were, or
no? I knew what they had because I had already.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Taken a test
obviously
drive.
Right.
Yeah.
You've seen the shift.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a value customer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But all POV, and a lot of the OnlyFans girls never really took to me because they had to do so much more than I had to do to succeed.
Right.
And so a lot kind of, didn't like me for that reason, because they felt like I was relying on the name.
Was this because you said something about your videos being on Pornhub? Did you also have an OnlyFans?
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, roughly how much did you make?
I'm not sure that I know.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
but like
a lot.
Throw a number out there. Let's say on a weekly basis, you were earning at least.
On a weekly basis. No, I don't talk numbers.
Okay, that's fair enough. I love how you like came to the number and you're like, that's way too big to expose to these broke boys. These peasants, they shouldn't hear about my numbers. So, and my last question was, and I guess we could kind of end off on this, unless you have something that you'd like to talk about. I mean, you're a guest, so you should also go ahead and say whatever you like.
No, I just came here to answer questions.
But like I asked before, how far are you willing to go in the porn industry? Like what was if someone was like, all right, I'm about to bring in like fucking 4 dudes on you, would you be like, yay or nay?
And also, how close to the 8 figures did you get offers for?
Just missed it. Just missed it by.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but.
Right.
Yeah, 4 guys would be easy.
That's crazy that you make it sound easy. Like I feel like I don't know. That feels like a lot of work. Like feet, arms, like it's everything.
Yeah, I
So-
don't really do much. I think the body does
right,
all it needs. Yeah.
right.
So
And
4 is easy.
what I guess what would be something that you would say no to then? Is there
Um,
anything like I guess like I don't know, maybe like piss and shit play, latex? Like I'm just throwing out random examples of
yeah, I would probably say no to any kind of excrement would be
right, yeah,
disturbing. Yeah.
right, right.
Well, that crosses me off the list then. So
Yeah, because
Oh. Damn.
yeah, because I was gonna say like, but you said the 8-figure stuff, right? And there's a story about a girl that talked about her going to Dubai, and she was paid, I think, if I'm correct, it was about 10 million um to
No.
get shat on her chest.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
see, I would say yes to that. That's ridiculous. I'm saying yes to that. I'm like, if someone flies me out to Dubai and shits in my chest, I'm taking 10 mil.
Yes, because you have no
I'm different.
morals. You have zero morals.
No, but I'm different. Like I would funnily enough, like have to like if they wanted to fuck me, I would have to think about it. But
But the shitting on the
if it
chest is
was
fine.
the sitting's just fine, yeah, yeah. And I'd want to know his meal the day previous.
I'd probably
Yeah.
just
Like if he
I'd take
told me if he told me like he just had like I don't know, some spicy Indian, I'd probably be like, can we do it tomorrow?
I don't know.
But if it was anything else, I'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, if he had wheat bix, I know those shits are gonna come out like bricks. It's just gonna like bounce off.
Oh my God. No, I couldn't. Nah.
That's crazy. I'm actually wilder than you. Didn't think that. Didn't think
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it just goes to show. Just goes to show.
You just never know. I'm actually like a pretty conservative person, like in
Right.
general. Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, based on your opinions, you kind of seem to be like not in a like conservative, like fucking, what do they call it? Like backwards way, almost kind of like, oh, this way, it can only be this way. But you seem like let's just say you seem like you got your head on straight.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always been pretty conservative. I think I'm definitely more liberated than
Yeah.
traditional conservatives, but
Right.
yeah, I'm probably more conservative than people expect. So I
Right.
lose on either side. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's almost like
They both hate you.
I'm not trying to compare you
Yeah.
at all to,
Yeah, exactly.
to Caitlyn Jenner, but in some sense, kind of like the same situation where, she's trans, but she has a conservative stand on politics and stuff like that.
Yeah, but she also killed someone.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy, right? That's
But
wild.
but then
again,
one
you did
woman
talk
of the
about
year.
you did talk
So,
about
I don't know.
wait, what'd you say?
She then won Woman of the Year. So
Yeah, I don't
I
know
think-
how that was possible.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
for
so I
what?
think there's always being brave.
Being brave. I mean,
Oh,
look,
That's it.
Yeah.
to be honest, I'd probably like feel so guilty and I'd kill myself if I killed a person, I think. So good on Caitlyn for being brave, because that's brave.
It's a strong suit.
Yeah, definitely.
Total
I mean,
narcissism.
let's be honest. I think the worst thing that Caitlyn ever gone through was being in the Kardashian household. Like that's hell. Like that has to be
Yeah.
living hell.
Yeah.
Like, would you? That's actually probably the last question I want to leave on, because I think you could probably be someone that would get a TV show. So would you ever do a TV show where they're just like, it's a reality TV, you're not doing anything extra, but a TV show where they're following you around constantly, at least 2-3 times a week, they're recording a part of your life. Would you be willing to do something like that?
Yeah, I would be willing to do like a limited series. I definitely couldn't do a whole 18 seasons.
Right.
I still, enjoy my privacy, and
Yeah.
also just out of respect for the privacy of the people in my life. But yeah,
Right.
I would do that.
Well, yeah, I think that's about it. Do you want to possibly promote anything? I know we don't have that much of a reach, but hopefully one day. Do you want to promote anything, or just give out like any of your links or anything like that? Any links? Doesn't.
Jolene Dawson everywhere. I don't do a whole lot of promoting when I do interviews like this, but yeah, Jolene Dawson. You've already heard it, so if you want to find me, you will.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming
Perfect.
on.
Thank you. You've been amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
you've
you
been
for having
fucking.
me.
And look, honestly, like this has been such a great experience because like this is something, especially the people that shit on us, never expect us to do.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
actually
Well, it's
it's
been a
really
great
good because right
experience for
now
me as well.
Yeah.
Pardon?
our TikToks at the moment, like our TikToks right now are like kind of like we go through periods where like we get on certain timelines when we do videos about women and they're like, oh my God, we love these guys because we say nice
Yeah.
things. And then our problem is our audience is too much of that. And then when we say something bad, it goes the opposite way.
Oh yeah.
So we're just, I
Yeah.
feel like we're just like playing with that line right now, like with like algorithms, which is fun. But yeah, no, it's amazing. It's been great.
I've had a great time as well. It's been, I'm glad that we did it. Yeah.
We'll be back in Australia. I'll be back in Australia in 2 years. Rash will, I don't know what he'll be doing in 2 years.
Hopefully as well. But if you're ever in London,
surely
just send us
we
a
stop off in
message.
Sydney. We do one.
Absolutely.
We do one live.
Yeah, even in Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're ever in Sydney or if you're ever in London, just hit us up and we can do an in-person one. And then we can record like, you know, some OnlyFans stuff right after as well. So
Oh, perfect.
we'll all
Chinese
make
finger trap.
we'll make him money. Whatever that is, let's do it.
Perfect. Well, I'm looking forward to it, but thank you so much for having me. You've
No
been
worries,
great.
no worries at
See you
all.
later.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
See
Peace
ya.
out.